Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is the final video of the week using the Nail Team glitters of the week, the beautiful Bridal Elite glitters. I've used the beautiful Ava and created this soft lilac and purple design in this video, so to see how it's done, please keep watching. So I am working on Liza, my red iguana hand, for this set, and from the Gems acrylic range I am going to be using my absolute favourite go-to crystal clear acrylic. I have then got Ava, a soft lilac dusky purple colour. We do have a matching Ava gel polish, and of course the star of this design, the Ava Elite glitter. So the gel polish is from the Bridal gel range. The acrylic is from a slightly different range. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. And then I got this tray of flower glitter pieces which I got from Shein, and I thought the lilac ones would be perfect for this design and what I was wanting to do. I ended up using the purple and the holographic silver, and I loved how it turned out. So I am starting off with my crystal clear acrylic and just doing my thin clear base. For this design I've used the Gems stiletto tips, but I've just nipped the end off because I wanted a coffin shape. I also wanted to keep the length because I was planning on doing a colour block strip down the middle of one of the nails, and just my personal preference, I prefer that look on a long nail. I think it just looks more in proportion on a long nail as opposed to a short one, but again that is just my opinion. And that's just what I prefer. So now I've done my thin clear base, I am going in with Ava. I've gone into my clear acrylic first, picked up a little wet bead and then dipped into the glitter, and now I am starting off by doing that strip down the middle on the middle finger. I want to keep this as straight as possible down each side because this is going to be colour blocked, and it's easier to do as much work as you can with the brush, but obviously little glitter pieces, they like to move around and move out of place and out of line, so it's not easy to get a perfectly straight line, and we will use the file just to tidy it up, but I'm just placing that down the nail. I'm patting it down, keeping it nice and thin because I want to add some of those flowers and I'll need to encapsulate it, but I'm using the very tip of the brush just to push the glitters in to keep the line as neat as possible, and also using the side of my brush just to make sure I've got as straight a line as I possibly can. It did end up being a bit off center, but I wasn't too worried about that. It looked perfect to me, and it's not always easy to get it perfectly central if you're just doing it by eye. If you did it like with a tape measure or something, then you could. But once I've laid down that strip of glitter acrylic, I've gone in with a wash of clear acrylic and I've tipped out some of those flower glitter pieces just on my little bit of towel, and I'm alternating between the lilac and the holographic silver and just placing them right down to the very tip, making sure again I press them down because I want to I need to encapsulate and I don't want to file away any of those glitters. And then once they were set in place, I don't want them to move when I come to encapsulate, I'm just going to encapsulate that strip. I'm going to make sure, or at least try and make sure, I've got the apex where I want it and I've got the structure. But more importantly at this point, I want to make sure I'm building up so that I've got a sort of a block and a wall on each side so that I can then get the next colours at either side right up to it and I can get a nice straight colour block. If I didn't feel the apex and the structure was spot on, I can go back at the end and add a little bit more height. I'm trying to do it all with this, not this one bead, but these beads if I can. Again, I'm using the side of the brush to straighten up that line, making sure it is as straight as is humanly possible. I don't want it running over top of that glitter, otherwise I'm going to have a sort of a clear line down the sides, and I don't want that. So almost taking it in slightly of the glitter just to make sure I don't have that clear strip, and then just adding a little bit more where I felt it needed a little bit more coverage. And then what I'll do is leave this strip to fully set and then file down those two sides before applying the colours on either side of that strip, just patting it down, making sure I've got the blends between beads as perfect as I can. And now really I'm just doing a little bit of faffing because we have to faff, it's tradition. And then when I'm happy with that, we're going to move on to the other nails and start creating the design on those. So moving on to the pinky, and I'm going in with that beautiful Ava acrylic. I'm going to do an ombre on this nail and also on the index nail between the Ava acrylic and the Ava glitter. So I'm applying the acrylic at the tip and I'm just blending it back towards the cuticle. I'm not worrying about getting coverage right up to the cuticle because that's where I'm going to add the glitter, and I want full coverage glitter until it fades out. And by not applying the acrylic right up to the cuticle, I'm not adding bulk, so I've just faded it out just sort of past that base nail free edge. I will do the same on the index finger when I get to it, but on the ring finger I'm going to do a full nail of the Ava acrylic. Again, I am painting this on, I'm keeping it as thin as I can because I'm going to be adding glitter. The glitter is the focus of the design, so I wanted to make sure I've got glitter on every nail. So this acrylic is just used for design purpose. So I've just painted it on from cuticle to tip, keeping it nice and thin, but just checking to make sure I've got full coverage and I haven't got any little patchy bits. And then on the index finger, I'm doing exactly as I did on the pinky. So I'm applying it sort of at the base nail free edge, blending it back towards the cuticle, and then I'm just going to pull and paint the rest of the product down to the free edge. I'll add a little bit more because I'm painting it on. It's all going to need encapsulating in clear acrylic. I just want to make sure that where I'm putting glitter I haven't got too much bulk, so I file away the glitter. These acrylics, they are strength powders, so you can use them to build the strength. I just prefer to use them as design powders. Now that the acrylic part of the design is all done, well, it's not quite all done, but those three nails are all done. I filed those two lines on my colour block off camera, make sure they are nice and straight, and I refined the surface if I felt I needed to. But now I'm going to apply Ava either side of that block of colour. What I am going to try and do with these blocks is create my structure. Just for ease, it can be a little bit faffy, I find, trying to encapsulate this at the end. So you, as I said, it's a strength powder, so you can build up the structure, and that's what I'm trying to do here. When I had finished the design and I was capping the other nails, I did add just a little touch more of the clear acrylic just down either side where I felt it needed a little bit more, but I did majority of it with the acrylic. And at the moment I'm trying to keep that central block as neat as I can, but because I've done all the work with that and it's got the correct structure, it doesn't matter if some of the colour goes on top of it because I can file it away. If I hadn't got the structure in place when I capped that middle strip, again, I want to try not to get any colour on that band or that block, but if I did, I just lightly go over it with sort of a 180 240 grit file just to get rid of any of the colour on that middle block before going in and encapsulating it. So it doesn't matter either way if you get the colour on there, but I do try and work as neat as I can, although you will notice at the end I had got quite a bit of colour on that block, and that is purely because I was trying to get all the structure with the Ava beads. Whew. That was a lot of waffling. Now I'm happy with that, we're going to move on to the other nails, and I'm going to start off on the pinky and get my little glitter ombre in. So I've applied my bead at the cuticle, and now I'm just using the tip just to sort of fade and feather the glitter just sort of halfway down the nail. I managed to do all of that in one bead. I was very impressed with myself. I didn't on the index finger, but it is a bigger nail. And I actually picked up a smaller bead than I did on the pinky. Don't know. Anyway, so I'm doing exactly the same on here, but I'm just going to need to add a little bit more of the glitter just to bring it a bit further down the nail and to get a nice fade out of that glitter. I'm then going to go in and do a little bit of a glitter swoosh in the middle of the ring finger. So I've started off and placed the bead just in the middle of the nail. This is where I want the thickest part of the swoosh. As I bring it out and down and then out and up to create that sort of swooshy effect, I want sort of less product and it gets a little bit thinner. So if I apply the first bead in the middle and leave the bulk there, and then I'll clean off my brush, make sure it is wet, and then I can use that to push any little escapey glitter pieces into the swoosh and tidy it up. It doesn't need to be perfect unless you're me, and then I'm just going to add a few more of those flower glitter pieces just to tie it all together. So where my glitter has faded out on the pinky and the index finger, I'm just applying a few, and I've done it on a little bit of an angle just to tie in with my glitter swoosh, and I've just done alternating again between the lilac and the holographic. And then where I've got my swoosh, I'm doing a few either side of the swoosh. And then that is the design part done of this set. Oh, and again on this nail I alternated, so I didn't have two holographics or two silvers, two lilacs together. But this is the design part done. So I now need to encapsulate these nails in clear acrylic, building up my structure and my apex, and then I'm going to file them, so tidy up the sidewalls, the free edge, and of course the surface of the nail, and they are ready for the final finishing touches. So here they are, all freshly filed, loving how they are looking. So we're going to give them a good wipe over, get rid of any dust, fluff and pieces, and then they are ready for my favourite part, and that is Miss Tina Top, just to wake them up, bring them back to life, and we're really going to see the holographic flowers, that beautiful glitters, and just really bring the design back to life. This design really didn't need any crystals. It had enough sparkle and enough to the design that I didn't think it needed any crystals. So I'm just top coating all of these nails, and then we're going to pop in the lamp to cure for 60 seconds, and my final design of the week, my Ava floral bridal design, is done. And I love how this one turned out. I had the idea and I wanted to incorporate those flower pieces, and I really loved how this one turned out. I think it's a beautiful spring design. Again, I think it will be beautiful for brides, for bridesmaids, even for prom, wedding guests. If you've got sort of a lilac florally dress, something like this would be lovely. But I really love this design, and as I said, with all of the videos and the designs I've done this week, because it was the bridal collection, I've tried to do designs that would possibly appeal to brides, bridesmaids, or wedding guests. And I really do hope you guys have enjoyed all of the videos I've done this week. But we have come to the end of the week, and the end of the Bridal Elite Glitters week as glitter of the week. And we've come to the end of this video, so please give this one a thumbs up and leave me any comments down below. I love to hear from you all, and if you've not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Check out the description box because I'll pop all the product links and details in there. Apart from the flower glitters, everything is from the nail team, and you can use my code Helen5 for 5% off all full price products. The glitters of the week, the Bridal Elites, and the colour of the week, Ariel, are still reduced until tomorrow morning, when we will have a new glitter and colour of the week. So if you would like to purchase those at a reduced price, you need to get shopping soon. And I'll be back next week with a new glitter and colour of the week. But that's it from me for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Mwah.